Yellow duckies. And it is time. Welcome to Queen's Wish 2, The Tormentor. I have been waiting for this to come out. I backed it on Kickstarter. I was jumping for joy when I heard about it. I cannot wait to see what we have in store for the second entry in the Queen's Wish saga here. So, we are going to start a new game. Let's change to female. Okay, so that's skin color. I can't remember if I named myself Vivi or Viola. Just gonna go with the basic. Hair. I know last time I had kind of like that, so we're going to let it grow out a bit. Let's see. Yeah, why not? Alright. So I do have the code. Let's go for normal. Empire of Haven rules over an eighth of the known world. Queen Sharon III rules Haven absolutely. Her oldest son will become king someday. Oldest daughter, Sharon Sage, most trusted advisor, Queen Sharon III, your mother. But your mother is ill. She's forced you to join in maintaining the empire. It's the price you pay for a life of luxury. She spent the last 2 years sending you all over doing jobs large and small, sometimes diplomacy, sometimes battle. She's a list of tasks, and it is endless. Your brother and you have a final journey together. Your Roderick lands birthplace of your father, okay? Part of the family business, simple bit of diplomacy until you're awakened early one morning. Okay, so I have the code. I actually loaded up my last game on Queen's Wish the Conqueror. And let me go ahead and enter my code. I'm actually going to pause so that you guys really can't see, because I don't know if it gives anything away, really. So, go ahead and enter that. Okay, so I went ahead and I put in my code. It basically just popped up with, like, a roundup of what I did in the Queen's Wish the Conqueror. So if you want to see how that turned out and all the details of that, you can check it out on my actual playthrough. You stumble half awake across the crude bedroom. Your rockage, I think it's rockage or rockage. Rockage. I want to say rockage. Guide provided for you. It's all very rustic, far from the luxury you were used to back in the royal palace. It's the best you can expect from the row. The plan was for you and your brother, Prince Sutter, to hunt and rest for a few days before returning to your mother's unending list of missions. It's starting to feel painfully like actual work. But something's wrong. You hear shouting and fighting. Normal sounds when you're on the hunt, but you are in the barracks. Okay. So I don't see anything I can interact with. Let's go to the door. Chest. The sitting room is where you came to rest after your hunt with Sutter. Dispatches from all over the Empire way down the shelves in the corner, happily ignored. Your senses start to come into focus. Something is snarling on the other side of the door to the east. Fortunately, your ceremonial hunting blade is in the chest in the corner. It's not much, but it can sort of defend you. Alright. It's better than nothing. The ceremonial blade feels cheap and flimsy in your hands. It's an ornate and expensive weapon with a long and glorious history. Your mother has you wear it everywhere to show the majesty of Haven, or something like that. You suspect that using it to defend yourself from a mysterious assailant was never part of her plan. I would hope not. Let's see. I can't pick up the boots. Okay. When you enter this workshop, a skinny, snarling beast leaps out from behind the pillar. Much to your relief, it is only a co-wolf. These pests are found throughout the known lands, wretched magical creatures, parodies of humanity, but incapable of thought. When you met them during your miserable mission on Sacramentum, they were called mirelings. Here, they're co-wolves. New word to remember. Same nonsense. Right. Happily, the ceremonial blade stood up to the challenge of fighting this pitiful creature. Not that you were worried, your mother has wizards constantly looking after the safety of you and your siblings from afar. You realize with a shudder that you aren't sure if they're watching now. Alas, this creature was not one lone beast that snuck through your defense as the sound of battle continues outside. I'll take this. Let's see. Where is Sutter? Melon! Give! I want! Pick up! No! My melon! Oh well. You're in Port Osborne, a small plot of Haven's land on the south coast of the Rokaj. Gosh, I want to say Rojak, but it's Rokaj. Your workers carry goods and emissaries like you in and out of the Rokaj. Important people like you feast here. On the other side of the great oak table, you can see a young rogue warrior. He is wiry, strong, and fearless in the way of his people. You meet his gaze. His features look strangely familiar. You see them in the vaguest way in the mirror every morning. Then he howls, raises his weapons, and charge. Oh, lovely! We're under attack from the people we're here to work with, of course. Do I have any abilities? Yes. Okay. Combat. You have a sick feeling. It's not killing this assassin this is not the first time you've killed. You had to defend yourself many times on Sacramentum. But this is no raider or brigand. This is a rebel. The Rakaj has a long history of rebelling against those who would try to control it. The rebellions are bloody, brutal affairs, grim blotches on history books. It's eerily quiet outside. You feel a sudden need to find Sutter. Your brother stands to inherit the throne. He'd be a valuable target. But before we go find Sutter, is there anything else I can have? Okay, so an extra one of those and a bow for that. Okay. Yes. Wait, can I? No, okay. Alright, let's go find our brother. Gear? Ah, all our different stuff. Turn to the game. Sutter! Fortunately, it doesn't take long to find Sutter. Your older brother is standing just outside the hall, sword drawn, alone. Your royal guard is nowhere to be seen. He says, "Good morning, Viola." He doesn't look at you, though. His gaze is fixed on the garden to the south. He notes that you are wounded. Clumsy. Here, sip this. gives you a taste of burning liquid from a flask. You hear people rustling around in the shadowy undergrowth. Good morning, Sutter. How are you? I'm alright. Didn't get much sleep, I'm afraid. Fortunately, the idiots out there, nods towards the trees, dealing with them should wake me up just fine. Where are our guards? North. I sent them to chase down some raiders who were running off. Didn't realize how many of them were still in the port. Oh well. How many do you count? At least 5. Not sure past that. Poor odds, if I weren't the Prince of Haven. You're getting close. They're getting closer. You can see the faces of young bro were perhaps kin to the ones you slew when you slew inside. Some of them are row. We should try to spare them. Sutter looks at you incredulously. They tried to assassinate the royalty of Haven. Their lives are forfeit. Letting them live sends a very bad example to the world. Coming out, cowards. The raiders oblige him. Row warriors and wolves spring from the bushes. Oh boy. Closer they are, the more damage I can do. Mwah! There we go. As you look for more foes, a horn sounds. Your warriors march into the port from the north. They have seen battle, but they have suffered no losses or wounds. Sutter hears their report. They dispatched several raiders and co-wolves, but the rest escaped to the northeast. Sutter makes a chopping motion with his hand, splits off 3 of the warriors to protect you. Then he takes a moment to think. We must speak, Viola. Fast action is necessary. Now that the nearby raiders are dead, and the guards have returned, Sutter relaxes. His arrogant swagger and infuriating smile immediately resume. He walks over to you and claps you on the arm. At least our visit here won't be all royal feasts and boring speeches. We didn't have to go far to start hunting today. He laughs. That's the spirit. A bright attitude in a miserable situation is the way of the Havenite warrior. Just don't get too casual. The Row have many truly fierce warriors. We need to learn if any of them are about. We don't know how much of an uprising is happening. There's much work to do. Let's build up our port's defenses. Sutter gives the halls of Port Osborne a disdainful look. Haven could live without this port for a while. No new ships are near. We must secure our fortifications and learn who attacked us, and why. I have your orders. Where do you want me to go? Our guards saw a band of raiders fleeing to the northeast. I will hunt them. You must secure our defenses so that if we face serious numbers, we have a place where we can survive. We need to move north to Fort Meadow 4 and make it ready. I have a better plan. I'm sure you have a plan. Maybe it is better. A little. However, I am the heir to the throne, and our mother put me in charge. My plan is the plan. Okay, what is Fort Meadow 4? Southernmost of the Haven's ports in the Rocage. Close, neglected, but defensible. Should just need a little bit of patchwork. What if I get attacked on the way? Imagine you will kill your attackers. That is what I would do. Your guard will help. However, if you meet anyone on the road, you should consider keeping your distance, they're more likely than not to be raiders. How do I get to Port Metaphor? Leave the port to the north. Don't worry about retaking the other buildings. They aren't worth the risk, and you aren't prepared. Leave the port, follow the road north. Avoid strangers. When you get to Fort Meadow 4, our general will help you prepare our defenses. Okay, I'll see you at Fort Meadow 4 soon then. Agreed. Good hunting. We'll clean up this mess, go home at last. So make a nice change from the tedium of diplomacy. He has a good laugh, and he gathers up his warriors and runs off to the north. First things first, I'ma go rest. Why? Because I can. Does anybody need anything? We have shield. No, everybody's got things, so. Can I rest? No, apparently not. Understandable, this place is still under attack, so sure. But let's at least look around a bit while we're here. Just in case I need to come back and take this place. Oh look, a ship! We can leave. Let's get on it. Nah, Sutter would never. Main custom hall of the port. The sailors and guards sleep here, no merchants have to check in to be inspected and pay customs. You never actually went inside. The port officials took you to your quarters immediately. Through the open window, you can hear frenzied activities. Raiders are turning the place upside down. Barrels are being smashed. Frenzied beasts are eating the mattresses. Someone will need to reclaim the port eventually. You start to feel nervous. As pitiful as these raiders are, you may not yet be properly supplied to fight them. I'm not trying to fight them. I'm trying to open my map a bit. Oh boy. Well, I got knocked out. Yeah. Maybe Sutter was right. I'm not ready. I'm not really equipped, to be honest, so. Yeah, not ready. And just opening the map as I normally would, and hoping I don't run into anything else that will try to eat me. Okay. If we go back in, we can't. Okay. Alright. Once you're clear of Port Osborne, you look around. Prince Sutter and you spent 3 days since you arrived at the Rakaj hunting these valleys. This is the normal terrain of the Rakaj. Tight valleys broken up by sharp spires of stone. Down here in the gentle coast, the land is green and nourished by frequent rain. Once you leave the coast, the terrain gets hostile quickly. You advance carefully, looking for raiders, bandits, and violent opportunists. Happily, none are visible yet. Oh, there we go. From the distance, this looks like a camp of loyal warriors guarding the pass and keeping it safe for you. Road does have a proper army loyal to Haven. They are wearing its insignia. As you greet them, you realize that their military garb is old, torn, and ill-fitting, doubtless stolen. Raiders realize that you have seen through their disguise, and they draw their weapons. Oh boy. Uh-huh. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Okay, 1 second. If I move one and then I'm able to... Okay, I can hit two. Right. This is not gonna go well. There we go. Okay, well. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I've only got 2 characters still alive. We've got to avoid the majority of these people. Oh! You meet a small group of Havenite soldiers. They came here from overseas to help keep control of the row, and they're doing a bad job of it. Their equipment is outdated and poorly maintained, and they are in terrible shape. When they realize who you are, they are terrified. You calm them down and tell them to continue their patrol. There will be plenty of time to whip them into shape later. What if I don't wanna? That way. Okay. You finally reach the outskirts of Fort Meadow 4. This is a fortress of Haven, one of 7 in the Rakaj. You're standing on actual Haven land now, given to your nation by treaty. Haven's vassal states always give up these patches of land for your fortresses. Unfortunately, you see little here to make you proud. Fort Meadow 4 has been neglected for years. The roads are torn up, the crops are failing. Some of the workshops inside have even been abandoned. So has the military camp to the east. You can see why Sutter sent you straight here. Now that you actually need battle support, there's a lot of work to do here. Well, I'm respawned now. You enter Fort Meadow 4. Haven's main fortress in the Gentle Coast. You dimly remember visiting here when you were a small child. Back then, it was run down and neglected. In the last few decades, it has been allowed to crumble. Shockingly, nobody greets you. No guards are visible. They must be off dealing with the raiders from the north. Your escort runs off to secure the fort. Sutter promised that General Miranda would greet you. You do hear people talking. The voices come from outside the only fully intact building. It's a warehouse and command post at the center of Fort Meadow 4, looking out over the entire riverport. Oh boy. Well, this looks like a familiar sight. Headquarters of Fort Meadow 4 loom over the small port to the west. Long docks extended into the cold, wide river which flows down from the tall peaks of the Rocage. You can see a large warehouse hanging off the back of the hall. The building is intact and under Haven's control. Nice change of pace from the mess you've seen so far. In front of the hall, an aggravated General Miranda is getting a report from some Haven scouts. You know her well. She helped you greatly during your mission in Sacramento. She takes a break from her shouting to give you a wave. When General Miranda turns to face you, you can see the relief on her face. You have a reputation for being unpredictable, but given the miserable state of the fort, any help is desperately welcome. She waves away her scouts to return to their jobs, turns to you and bows. Princess Viola, it is an honor to be working for you again. I wish I had a better report to give. You're a general now. I'd like to know more about what you've been up to. I'm sorry, Princess. I'm sure we'll have time to talk later. For now, Prince Sutter is very insistent I follow his orders and ignore distraction. Oh, come now. You can ignore my brother for a bit. Getting stuck between squabbling royalty is not a situation General Miranda enjoys at all. I'm so sorry. I think I'd best follow the directions of the man who might be king someday. No offense. Understandable. I need your report. What is your status? She looks at the backs of the departing scouts. Not terrible, actually. We've been raided by a small, determined force from the mountains of the Row. They have taken several locations and are holding them. Prince Sir has already departed to dislodge them from the few mines they seized. He believes that their leader is there. Is Port Metaphor under threat? Not currently. The raiders bypassed us, heading directly to Port Osborne, no doubt to abduct or kill you. The raiding force is small, but their actions are a true outrage against the dignity of Haven. Port Metaphor is an odd name. Oh, yes, well, early settlers called it Fort Meadow because the gentle coast is so, well, meadowy. But all forts of Haven have to have different names, and when the settlers reported the fort name, a fort was appended to it. Records, rules, you know. Who sent this attack, and why? Unknown. The forces are small, fortunately. Prince Sutter hopes to grab one of their leaders and question the prisoner vigorously. What's the status of Fort Metaphor now? As you can see, it is, well, it's pretty gruesome. Haven's fortification and the Row have been neglected to an extent that Prince Sutter found, well, he said, a lot of loud words. We'll be counting on you to direct its rebuilding. First, however, Prince Sutter left some orders for you. I already have more orders. Your older brother was fairly insistent. He wants the raiders driven out and the areas they stole liberated. I can rely his precise instructions to you. First, however, you should recruit some soldiers. I need to recruit soldiers. I've seen firsthand how confident a warrior you are. However, assaulting a raider stronghold alone would be... Prince Sutter was very insistent that you have help. Happily, the 3 soldiers who escorted you here are still at your service. 3 warriors. I could actually use a lot more, like 50. General Miranda gives you a weak smile. Usually, those on a stealthy or diplomatic mission travel with small complement. Also, 3 is all we have to spare. My apologies. When you're ready, please find me in my office. Okay. Party at the party at the party. take a look around. See what we can see of everything that's broken in this place that we now be. We now be. Ducks. Guard tower that's still standing. We got walls. At least the walls seem to be intact. Better than not. Alright. Okay. As you approach Miranda's office, you walk by a gleaming mirror. This is a remarkably useful magical device. It enables people to speak with each other over great distances. For example, it enables your mother to nag and pester you from thousands of miles away. At the moment, it looks like an ordinary mirror. No messages for you. If it sparkles, that means someone wants to speak with you. Okay. Alrighty. Gentlemen, what else what else do you need, princess? I can give guidance and support as needed. Recruited Marshal. What? Now what? Now I can relay Prince Utter's message. There's something he wants you to do. Not me, of course. I would never give orders to royalty of Haven, but well, he told me what I have to say. Sutter wants me to do something. Fine. What? So when they were rushing south, a handful of raiders went east. They grabbed control of Spiretop Lighthouse. Prince Sutter wants you to go there and retake it. Get what intelligence you can, do Haven proud, bear the flag high, and all the usual. What is Spiretop Lighthouse? Oh, she checked some notes on her desk. It's a lighthouse constructed by Haven. Helps merchants' ships through particularly jagged areas of the sea. It's not highly significant in the scheme of things, but even one tower held by this rabble is too many. Prince's words. We don't know how many enemies are there, and Sutter sending me? Oh, Prince Sutter gave me a response in case you express such a sentiment. She nervously picks up a scrap of paper. Please, these are your brother's words, not mine. Go on. Viola, quit your whining and show this rabble what Haven can do. No enemy force could ever be too large. Miranda winces. I'm not sure that is true, but it is what he said. We await news of your victory. Huh. Everybody gained. I am going to do Haven's mate first, actually. Do that. Okay. Elspeth is our powerhouse. He is our support. And she is our mage. Okay. Wait. There's a book thing. There's Haven, yes. Alright. While I'm here, let's kind of glance around. Gotta go to look. Kitchen. Pantry. Oh. Chief Cetus. It used to be a grand hall where emissaries from Haven met with the leaders of the row. Like everything else in Fort Meadow 4, it is neglected and depressing. At least there's still one official here to speak for your nation. She is an old woman wearing ill-fitting leather armor. It bears the insignia of a chief, a commander of one of your proud forts. When you approach, she slumps in her chair and lets out a tired sigh. It's an honor to meet and to greet a Princess of Haven after all of these quiet years. I'm Chief Cetus. I have served in Fort Meadow for many years. Now that you have looked around, I'm sure you have much to say. Her voice is fitting, tired and defeated. Had a chance to inspect your fort. Cetus nods. It was inevitable that the reckoning would come. We await your judgment. Your fort is not in good shape. She nods. That is the kindest possible way to state the truth. The fort is useless. It doesn't have to always be that way, though. Haven has returned. Perhaps I can still be of use. Anything I can do for you to help restore the fort? Not yet. Right now, Prince Sutter's orders override all. I understand he wants Spiretop Lighthouse retaken. General Miranda can tell you more. Once that's done, speak to me again. I might be able to help you. Okay. Understandably, she's tired, and if this place is as neglected as it seems, I don't blame her. Upper floor of the hall is dedicated to the business of Haven. General Miranda managed to clean it up a little before you arrived. It isn't an entire ruin. Your bedroom is to the west. You're desperately relieved to see your most prized piece of equipment, your butler Stonehouse. He was sent to Fort Meadow 4 ahead of you, and he seems to have survived the raider attacks so far. He's standing at attention, waiting to see your royal needs. His face is calm, and his eyes have a constant look of haunted despair. Oh, Stonehouse. Waiting outside your quarters, you find Stonehouse. He has been your butler since you were a small child. Now, while you're being stalked by brigands and carrying the weight of the world on your shoulder, he has been here, hiding, safe and comfortable. He hands you a warm, moist towel as you approach to clean the dirt of the road from your face. His eyes have his usual mix of terror, despair, and quiet resignation. Hello, Princess. As always, I await your command. Stonehouse, why are you lurking back here like a coward? I'm sorry, Princess. Prince Sutter directed me to come here and prepare your room while you were at the fort. When the raiders attacked, I failed to emerge and single-handedly battle them, as my death would only free me from my servitude. I apologize, Stonehouse. I know you were doing your best under very difficult circumstances. You would never say that. As long as you are very sorry. I am sorry, Princess. Regret consumes me. Guilt devours my insides. Though I am unworthy to ask, is there anything I can do for you? That's all. Then I will wait until you return. Okay, so this is my room. General Miranda and Stonehouse, working together, attempted to set up quarters for you worthy of the Princess of Haven. Of course, they failed. The meal left out for you is cold, and the cask of wine left for you is subpar vintage. It could be worse. Your wild youth left you with a bit of a reputation in the known lands. As a result, you do have food and wine, and the bed has proper sheets and a pillow. You can rest in beds like this, and this one to recover your strength. Chest weights in the center of the room, doubtless full of equipment necessary for survival. When you're on a quest and receive a reward item you can't carry, it will appear in this chest. Okay, that's a nice little addition. Because before, I would always have to fight with it. Okay. Give it to her. Is this better than what I have on? Yes. So we'll do that. Spear would be better than the sword, but let's so that we're I already have a crude bow. Alright. First bronze spear. Same crude bow can go to her. Fast bronze dagger. We're actually gonna swap his bronze dagger for bronze spear. Don't know if I'll be able to sell things like I was before. Yeah, two-handed weapon. Actually, that's better than what I have on, even though it doesn't do as much yet because reasons. And let's see. Offhand. There we go. Alrighty. Looks like we are ready to go. Sorry about that little bit of background noise, guys. I'm guessing this is... Oh, library. Find the library of Fort Meadow 4. It is the most intact and well-protected room in the fort. Haven's symbol is the scroll for a reason. Treaties, records, histories, and communications are much the source of Haven's power. A lone figure wanders among the dusty stacks. You remember him as Sage Harlan. He's one of Miranda's assistants back when she was but a lowly chief on Sacramento. When Harlan sees you, he turns and bows, his arms heavy with a load of delicately balanced scrolls. I'm so glad you made it safely, Princess Viola. I know little about the road so far, but I will help however I can. Well, we got some books to read. Secrets of Power. I'm not actually going to be reading through all these. I'm sure a lot of them have actually been set up online by this point. Sage Harlan sets down his scrolls, invites you into his library, and eagerly pours you a cup of tea. I'm so glad that you're here. I've been in a lot of Haven's vassals, but this is one of the messiest since, well, Sacramento. It's an honor to work with you again. As you talk, Stonehouse pokes his head through the door behind you. Aw, you must be lonely. I remember you. Well met. I am gratified that you remember me, and I'm happy to be of assistance again. I don't have a blade, but I have knowledge. I can help direct the blades to where they would do the most good. You're trying to learn about the Rocage. Need any help? Embarrassed hint for a moment, you see a glint of greed in Harlan's eyes. You recognize that look well. When you're a princess, everyone wants something from you. Haven knows so little about the Rocage. We have not explored it seriously for 20 years. What have they learned? What do they believe? Libraries of Haven ache for fresh books. What do you need? There are many learned people about the Rocage. The Erudico, their cast of researchers, is still active. They have many shamans, many sages. See if you can get a book from them. Books that reflect what they have learned in the last few decades. If you can bring them to me, I can use them to increase the wealth of all of Haven. Where might these books be found? Anywhere, I think, but you're most likely to find them around the Erudico or other shamans. Don't take any risks, of course. Stonehouse says, yes, no risks. That is what everyone who wants something says. You've learned I have learned of some works that might be valuable. He points to a journal on a nearby podium. My notes are there. Okay. Guessing this. Continue their research. Eredico Principles, Eredico Earth Law, and Eredico Sky Signs. Right. Beasts of the Grove. Lies of the Dead. Okay. Bathroom and shower room. Guest rooms. Money. All right. Now that we're down, we can. Oh. Warehouse? Warehouse. Bits. In the hall to the north, you see a stone portal. This is one of the most prized of Haven's magical artifacts. When it's open and glowing, you can walk through it to the Palace of Haven and back. Only those who have been touched by a certain spell can use the portal, usually royalty. Of course, it was applied to you at birth. The portal consumes great energy and tends to make the user very nauseated. A vomiting pot is provided. Still, when someone important needs to be moved somewhere very quickly, this is the best method. Can I go back? You approach the portal. It leads back to Charlene's palace, your home. When you get close, an invisible hand flings you back. You have to have the queen's permission to walk through the portal. When travel through it is allowed, you will be told. Until then, you are stuck here. Well. Okay, mother. She's like, no, you're staying there. Mm-hmm. How nice of her to decide such. Okay. So I think I'm actually going to leave this episode here, guys. I know we're just reaching on to like 50 minutes. Normally I try to stick these around 30, but we have now kind of done the majority of the opening stuff. We'll get to the lighthouse in the next episode. So thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell icon to keep up to date on all the videos, and remember to free the feral wildflower in you. Bye-bye.